Okay, so this is the first operating system being investigated. It is the latest version of Raspbian, which is an open source Linux-based operating system. It is also the official operating system of the Raspberry Pi. Now, to install this, I used the Noobs installer, which was found in the downloads section of the Raspberry Pi website and made the install process very easy. Once put on an SD card and onto the Raspberry Pi, it was a simple matter of plugging in the keyboard, mouse, Ethernet, power, and HDMI, which connects to a monitor. And then just follow the simple basic steps, which was select your time zone, a password, simple things like that. As you can see, it is a very clean operating system and very similar to Windows. And you have access to things such as the terminal, which is essentially a CMD prompt, very similar to what we were coding in during the practicals. You have access to a task manager, which shows things such as CPU usage, which is also visible up in the top right there. And it also shows all your programs. There's also other programs such as, it's called Office Writer, but it's very similar to Word. There's a whole suite like that, visible in the Office tab. There's also games such as Minecraft Pi, which is Minecraft ported into the Raspberry Pi. Also in the operating system are things such as access to a browser, which is a Google Chrome browser. To download the operating systems used in this, you go to raspberrypi.org and click on the Downloads tab, and here you have access to them all. To install them, I used Noobs, which is their simple installer, makes the process much easier. This is a screenshot from the Noobs installer, and as you can see, it shows Raspbian and OSMX. This is how you install them. You simply click on it and click install as you're doing it. The next installed operating system is OSMX, or Open Source Media Center, and this is very different to the other ones. It is, as the name might imply, just for media. You cycle through using your keys, and you can get into a section with videos where you can have files of videos, music, pictures, other things. You have your favorites tab. It's fairly simple, and as the picture showed before, it is a very similar install process, again through Noobs, and you input things such as your time zone, except an interesting thing this time is you can name your device. This is the final operating system being investigated. It is called Raspex, and it is very similar to the first that was investigated, but it's better in almost every single way. It has the same basic things such as access to the internet. However, this one comes default with access to Firefox, as well as Google Chrome down there on the bottom. Again, it has CPU monitoring on the home page. Other cool things is it has its own media player, which I thought was quite cool. It has GIMP pre-installed, which is good for anyone who likes Paint.net but better, let's be real. It also has a very cool feature where it has two desktops, so you can cycle here, so you can stack things up. You can have one with all your work on it, and one with, say, just your Facebook and whatnot. You also have this section down here, sorry, just get to focus, where you can cycle through your passwords and all sorts of things. It's essentially your task view. Of the three operating systems, Raspex was the only one that wasn't installed using Noobs. However, the process was still very simple. Once it was downloaded, use WinRAR or the basic Windows extraction tool to unzip the file, and then use the Win32 disk imager to put it onto your SD card, and then from there you just insert it into the Raspberry Pi and it was good to go.